Hello and welcome to another time of learning one kingdom principle and growing 20 minutes at a time. Thank you very much for always investing time to learn. In the last several episodes, we have been looking at the subject of fasting and prayer. And we spent at least 10 episodes looking at this topic from different perspectives. In the last episode, in particular, I spoke about the physical benefits of fasting because prior to that we have been spending a lot of time looking at the history of fasting, spiritual benefits that come as a result of fasting. But I want to take one or two episodes to look at the physical benefits of fasting. So last episode I spoke a lot about the advantages that come by way of the body being cleansed, by way of disease-causing organisms being removed from the body, and the fact that the body gets the much needed time to rest and heal itself. I also liken fasting to a garbage truck passing through a neighborhood and the various households taking their garbage and dumping it. Fasting being the garbage truck and the various cells, tissues, and organs in the body being the various households that have the opportunity to dispose of the waste, and of course it is excreted out of the body. If you missed any of the episode, I always encourage you to catch up because I possibly cannot do all the necessary recap. So if you are just watching this, I encourage you to check us out on YouTube. We are there as Tennis TV. You can subscribe and you can also hit the notification button and get notified when we upload a new edition of the program. You can also join us on other social media platforms. You can like us on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. We endeavor to make sure that these platforms are updated in one form or the other. Our website remains www.tenets.tv. Today, I want to continue in this same trend of thought by looking for more into the health benefits of fasting. The health benefits of fasting. So in addition to all that I've mentioned last week, I want to go further to talk about 2 or 3 more benefits of fasting. But before I go on, I always like to say that as much as this is well researched, it is not a replacement for the need of a medical doctor. Always consult with your doctor if you have any need, and of course, before you go on any extended fast, make sure you get the consent of your doctor after they have checked you very well. So let's read Isaiah 58, our focus scripture. I'll read from verses 6 to 8. I'm reading the Good News translation. The kind of fasting I want is this: remove the chains of oppression and the yoke of injustice, and let the oppressed go free. Share your food with the hungry, and open your homes to the homeless poor. Give clothes to those who have nothing to wear, and do not refuse to help your own relatives. Then my favor will shine on you like the morning sun. This is where my emphasis is in verse 8. And your wounds will be quickly healed. Another version says, your health will spring forth speedily. I will always be with you to save you. My presence will protect you on every side. So most of the time when we hear your health will spring forth speedily, we always think maybe it's by way of a miraculous happening. Not necessarily. God can do that, and he often does that, but it's more by way of knowledge. Hosea 4:6 says, my people perish for lack of knowledge. So we want to gain a little more knowledge today as to how our health can spring forth by way of fasting. The first point I want to make is the fact that fasting slows down the aging process. Fasting has potential benefit of slowing down the aging process. So what exactly is aging? Aging occurs when there is an accumulation of dead, non-repairable cells in the body. Normally, the cells are supposed to be regenerated over a period of time. But when this does not happen and the cells become dead and they just remain in the body, that is when the person starts to, the real age starts to show. But the good thing about fasting is that when you are fasting, the first thing that the body does by way of oxidation, the energy level, the heat in the body increasing, is the fact that all those dead cells, all those non-repairable cells, which has the potential of clogging the small blood vessels and your lymph nodes, are burnt away. So fasting removes all the dead cells, and that means your tissues, your cells are being regenerated and being replaced in some cases, and that has a potential effect of you looking younger more than your actual age. That is why you see someone with the skin glowing, the white part of the eyes being really white, and the person just looking very nice. This can happen if you do the fasting the correct way. Of course, I've told you about the fact that toxic fats are also melted away when you are fasting. What fasting does is takes all the unnecessary, useless materials in the body. Some of them are accumulated by reason of food not properly being digested and assimilated. Fasting burns all of them away, and only the nice things, the nutrients, are remain in the body. So this is one way by which fasting helps. Of course, the fact that you abstain from food for some period of time gives the body a lot of time to rest, and all these accumulations are also got rid of. There is also proof that fasting helps your mental state. Your mental functioning is at a higher level when you are fasting. Without going into a lot of details of technical jargons, the fact is that the brain needs a fragile chemical balance for it to work properly. And when you are fasting, this is enhanced significantly. A lot of research has gone into this, and it has been proven that the mental condition is actually at a better state when you are fasting. The other point in terms of the benefit of fasting to the human health has to do with your immune system. It has been proven that periodic short-time fasting has a way of strengthening your immune system. What happens is fasting has a way of triggering the stem cells to produce more white blood cells, and the white blood cells are the ones that enhance the body's immunity to fight against diseases. And of course, when you are able to overcome diseases, naturally, it has a way of increasing your lifespan. Your immunity is boosted. You are not falling sick every now and then. Now, in the midst of all this is the great flushing agent, which has been called water. So water is a great flushing agent in midst of all this discussion of health benefits, because, like I said before, there is a lot of cleansing that is happening when you are fasting. So if you are fasting, you need to drink a lot of water. I cannot overemphasize this enough. I went into a lot of details in the previous episode. But when you are doing water-only fasting, that is, you are not eating solid food, but you are drinking water, maybe for a protracted amount of days, the tendency is for you to lose a lot of muscle. And this will show physically, and you will not even have a lot of energy. If you have this kind of concern, it is recommended that you switch to juice fasting, fruit and vegetable fasting. And what this means is you blend your favorite fruits, just make sure you watch the sugar level, whatever it is. You can even combine more than 2 or 3, and you blend them, and then you drink them just like you would drink water. Of course, it is a huge percentage of fruit and vegetable is water. But the advantage of this is that your body continues to be nourished, and you are not losing a lot of muscle as you would if you were doing only water alone fasting. So this helps you because your body is still being nourished. The good thing about juice fasting is also that a lot of fruits and vegetables are full of antioxidants, and this has a way of cleansing your body and fighting diseases. For instance, your liver is protected from a lot of free radicals that you have the tendency of having when you are fasting. So it's very important to ensure that fruits fast is a part of your regimen when you are fasting. Now, the other point about this issue of fasting, and fruit fast in particular, has to do with the delicate acid alkaline nature of the body. Okay, so the body is slightly normally alkaline. The blood has a pH of 7.4. Water has a neutral pH of 7, and anything below 7 is acidic. There is a delicate balance of acid alkaline that the body needs to function properly. A lot of research has gone into it and a lot of book has been written, but it is noted that the body functions more when it is in this slightly alkaline state more than when it's in acidic state. Diseases thrive more. Cancer cells have been found, for instance, to thrive more when in an acidic state. So fruits and vegetables as a way of keeping the body in this perfect alkaline condition. And when that is done, it means that a lot of diseases are not able to thrive in your body. Okay, so I want to encourage you that you do this. Now, what I want to quickly wrap up with has to do with the 4 cleansing methods, 4 major cleansing methods that the body adopts. Number 1 is the pores of the skin. The skin is the largest organ in the body and is one of the major ways by which the body gets rid of all the effluent material by way of perspiration. And that is why when you are fasting, you need to take a lot of extra care to ensure that you bath perhaps more frequently than you would normally. Because as you are burning and oxidating those materials, the body is trying to get rid of them by way of the pores of the skin. This is the reason why if you get close to someone who is fasting and they are not taking enough oral hygiene care, you will see that there will be some sort of body odor. So the encouragement here is that when you are fasting, take extra care to bath more frequently than you would normally when you were not fasting. So number 1 is the pores of the skin. Number 2 is the kidney. The kidneys are activated by water frequently. So you need to ensure that you drink water or the fruit juice that we've spoken about. Of course, it has to be as natural as possible. The lungs are also the third main method by which the body gets rid of the effluent materials, by way of exhaling. So when you are fasting, make sure that you go outdoors from time to time to get fresh air and have the opportunity to also breathe out whatever is on the inside. The last but not the least has to do with the bowels, which is talking about your colon, So what the colon needs is a lot of water, because when you are fasting, you are not eating. Sometimes you find out that you are not even going to the toilet, you are not excreting because there is nothing to pass out. But whatever is remaining there has a way of, being contaminated. So you need to ensure, number 1, you don't want to be constipated, because that in itself can cause some other condition. So you drink a lot of water so that you are able to flush out whatever remnant material is there. Some people recommend that you need to take some enema to flush the stomach, but I don't think it is necessary. The most important is that we need to be sure that we have enough water or fluid by way of fruits and vegetables that are blended in the body. I did say in one of the episodes that fasting is a science. So when God says in Isaiah 58 verse 8 that our health will spring forth speedily, he's talking about knowledge. Hosea 4:6 says, my people perish for lack of knowledge. And I do hope and trust that as you have picked these pieces of nuggets here and there, you will be able to apply it and see the benefits, the result that God has promised us, that our health will spring forth speedily because we are applying knowledge and we are trusting God at the same time as we are praying and fasting. So I want to give a challenge to someone today that this week, try out some form of fasting if you have never done it before. If you are just starting, don't bother to do a full day fast. Just try something short, a few couple of hours, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours, that you are not eating anything, but make sure you are drinking water, and make sure another thing you can try is a fruit fast from morning till evening. Till I come your way, I wish you a good health and happy fasting. Thank you. God bless.